What's up, y'all? Did y'all miss me? It's been a minute. It's been a minute. For those who don't know, I am Shake B, co-host of Perception Vibe podcast, and we got some things to talk about. We've been missing in action for a minute, but we coming back and we gonna come back strong. Okay. Today we are talking about this bullshit. Who killed RNB? Okay. So look, R&B is not dead. It's not dead. It's not dead at all. I really feel like that was just a clickbait for the conversation to start happening because, you know, if you haven't listened to any of our podcasts, you know that for the most part, we are strictly, that's all we talk about. That's all we talk about is R&B. R&B is my thing. R&B is what I do. R&B is what I create. Um, and it's frustrating. I feel like, yeah, we need to have the discussion, but to just come out and blatantly say that R&B is dead, it's the same shit as it was with Nas when he came out and said hip hop is dead. But it started a conversation and it sparked the creatives to start creating to prove that hip hop wasn't dead. So now we are to the point now where we are having this discussion about is R&B dead, and it's not. I feel that the mainstream has cut it out. Um, it's gotten blurred. It's been blurred between rap and the melodic rap and all of those things where, most of the men, I will say, most of the men use auto tune to showcase their talent and they have I don't know if I want to say it's been used as a crutch. I don't think it was a crutch. I think that it just became the popular sound, the trend for everybody to do. Um, First, we tried to start off and blame T Pain. Then we started to try and blame Future. I don't think Future was the problem. I don't think T Pain was the problem. I think that was the shift that we were going into with music. And there's a lot of R&B albums that has came out in the midst of the T-Pain era, in the midst of the Future era, and now, like I've said in plenty of our episodes, that the 20s, there has to be a shift in the way that music is going right now, and I feel like the shift needed to be into R&B, and it can be done. It's being done. There's a lot of R&B artists that are out there. I think the thing is because the labels are dead. That's what's dead. It's not R&B. R&B is not dead. What's dead is the labels pushing out the music that we really want is become this thing that we have to follow the trends. Social media has probably played a big part in why certain music isn't pushed anymore because it's not getting views. Everything is about views. Everything is about algorithms. Everything is about is it on the charts? And for me personally, as a fan of music and as a creative of music, I'm not about the trends. I don't care about the trends. I'm all about the feeling. I've said it several times. I'm going to continue to keep stressing that it's about the feeling of the music. And I feel like that's where my biggest issue with music, with R&B music, is the feeling. So that's one thing that was said in a live, that it's the music, it's the feeling. Nobody is making love anymore. It's you know what it is, and that's fine. It has its place. Everything has its place. I think what people are failing to realize is that we have this big, broad way of putting out music now where there's so many avenues that a creative, a artist, a producer can put out their music, can put out their content, that you have to understand that everybody is going to push their shit out, which is fine. Do that. But the problem is that because so many people have access to doing those things, you feel that we can't that it's mm, it's really frustrating. It's really frustrating. And I know it's frustrating to a lot of artists that are really advocating for R&B, that is pushing out R&B, because there's so many small people that don't get the recognition that is putting out the R&B that may take that as an offense. I know for off the top of my head, I believe, off the top of my head, I can say like Zay Fred, especially on TikTok. I see his lives, and it's like that's the R&B that I want to hear. He's been putting out content, he's been putting out music, and he's been doing the lives and showing you his creative process. I like that from him, and it's like, where's the music? This is the type of music I'm listening to. Like, we can go down the list of people, you know, that have been in the game long enough. You know who those people are. You have Eric Billinger, you have Tank, you have Chris Brown, which, there is an argument there that you may not feel that technically what Chris Brown puts out is R&B, but it's R&B, mixed in with pop. That those lines have been blurred as well. The pop music and R&B have been mixed in together. And everybody puts all of these labels around things, and that's one of the reasons why we get confused about what is R&B and what's not R&B. Like, you can say it's the ballads, the slow songs and things like that, but there's also R&B that is upbeat. So when we get into this argument about who killed R&B, first of all, the person who made the statement, you contribute to the killing of R&B. If we're gonna say R&B is dead, like, you fucked up when Day 26 didn't only gave us one album. I don't know whatever happened in the background of all of that. I don't care, but Day 26 was supposed to be bringing back the band type thing for R&B. They were supposed to be the new age Jodeci. So you only gave us that one album, and it's like the business side of it. I feel like a lot of people killed the business of R&B by the things that was going on with the shit in the background. When are the so-called executives and everybody that was in the background are going to take accountability for what happened with R&B? Go back and listen to our Men and R&B podcast, and we Breeze and I was discussing, the fact that the men weren't saying anything. But I do like the discussion that Division is putting forth, that we need to have. Like, that's what R&B is. What Division did with that song, you may not like it. Like, that's not something necessarily that I'm going to listen to, but the message in the song, that's what we need to hear. What it is that he's talking about, and how that applies to everybody, and how that applies to what's going on in society as far as men and women, or if you're in a relationship with anybody, about the stigma of cheating. That's what R&B is. That's R&B. That's really what we should be doing. Those type of things. And the whole conversation behind toxic R&B artists and things like that. Like, I can say from the time that we did that podcast, Men in R&B, that's where it, since then and up until now, there has been some shift going on with the men in R&B. Now, if you decide to say that that is toxic, okay, cool. We can have that discussion. It may be toxic, but that's what they're going through. So for those R&B artists to be having that discussion, that's what needs to happen. That's the type of music that y'all should be putting out. If y'all feeling like, the women ain't shit and like yada yada yada, Kevin Samuels, all of that bullshit, then speak to it in your music. That's what it's for. Show us how you feel about those conversations. But then make sure that the music aligns with it. Make sure you're gravitating with the producers that align with that. I feel like it was a statement to be made because now you're trying to do this whole label thing. And personally, I don't care nothing about what you doing. I don't. What R&B artists are you trying to break? Like, why are we in the day of we have to make bold, this bold statement to get people's attention? Why can't we just let the music speak for itself? That's all we need to do. You don't have to get on social media and go through these whole rants and things like that and now you doing all of these multiple lives and talking about having this conversation. It's like, why do you need to do that when you've been in a position that you've been in for so many years? Like, why did you have to play that game? Why couldn't you've already announced that you have a label that you're going to start that's strictly for R&B. Where's the music? Let's just drop the music. Drop the artist that you're working with, drop the music, and let's move forward from there. Why do we have to say, "Oh, R&B is dead and I'm bringing it back"? Okay, show me. Why you gotta tell me? Just show me. Put the artist out. What's the single? What's the album? Because we already got the discussion amongst the creatives that you don't need to drop albums anymore. If you still feel like albums can be put out, then put out the album. Or the attention span of the consumer is short now, so where's the singles? Put push out the singles. Why do we have to say, "Oh, R&B is dead"? Who killed R&B? So then you get a whole bunch of people up in an uproar, and then what? Then what? Now we're gonna have all of these different conversations, but we still don't have the music. If R&B is dead, where's the music? If you're here to save R&B, where's the music? I probably would have respected it more if you said R&B is dead, I'm reviving it. Here's the song right now. Or here's the project right now. Here's the album right now. Where is it? Because when I scroll and look for R&B music, there's a bunch of stuff that's been released. Does it all align with what I want to hear? No, not necessarily. But there's a lot that is out. So we can't say R&B is dead. Can we say rap is dead? Or are we talking about, the nostalgia of 90s and 2000s and even the 10s R&B? What are we talking about here? What does that solve? Just to continue to have that conversation? Okay, we could keep having the conversation. We could keep having the conversation. But I don't think R&B is dead. It's not dead. I wouldn't have the podcast that I have if I thought R&B was dead. I wouldn't be talking about R&B if R&B was dead. Do I think there needs to be a change? Yeah. Is there a change happening? Yes, there's a change happening, and I'm going to be a part of it as well. But R&B ain't dead. R&B is not dead. I just hope that this lights a fire up under all R&B artists to give us the R&B. Cause we in August, it's almost cuffing season. I need cuffing season music. I'm still waiting for cuffing season. Y'all didn't give it to us last year. Last year was horrible. Y'all, nobody in R&B dropped then. It wasn't there is no baby making music. I think that's probably what it is. Not the typical, oh, I want to fuck. No. Give me something that when I'm with mine, I want to listen to and do what I do. That's the music that we talking about. Maybe that's what he talking about. Maybe that's what he talking about. Maybe. And if that's the case, then I'm with you. I need to hear it. Where is it? Because I'm telling you, I say 98% of the music that I listen to is R&B. So I want to hear it. I want to listen to it. I believe Chris Brown said something as well, like the real listeners that really know what it is know what it is. And we do know what it is. It's not mainstream, but we're in a space now that it does not have to be mainstream. You just got to be able to find it. It's crazy that we have to play the algorithm game, but if it's good, we'll find it. But are you putting it out? Are you putting it out? You got to put it out. You got to put it out. You have to. R&B is dead. R&B not dead. It can't be. It can't be. Like, I feel like people need to understand the evolution of R&B. Let's just like I've said before, we could just go ahead and start with the 70s, in the 80s and the 90s, in the 2000s. Like there has been shifts of R&B and what R&B sound like, how it sound. Okay, because back then you had to play. You got Stevie Wonder, he played the keys, he played a lot of things. You got Ray Charles, that was considered R&B, and he was able to play things and sing different harmonies and be able to manipulate his voice, and he played the keys and all of that. And then you got you had the group Earth, Wind and Fire, you had the Commodores, you had Confunction, you had all of those things going on, but they were like big bands. You had the funk with, Parliament. You had they were big bands. Patti LaBelle had a band. Like Anita Baker had a band. Like all of those things. Like you had bands then. And then you got into the 90s where it was all about samples, late 80s, early 90s with hip hop coming in, and then R&B switched up. R&B switched up, and then you had, they were using samples of those big bands back then, and we transitioned into everything being computerized and all of that. Roger Troutman, with the talk box, and the shift that was going on then is we evolved over the years. And then you had the early 2000s where it was still more sampling, a mix of instrumentation and things like that. And then we moved into the tens, and then you had Drake come along where Drake blended it, and you had rap, and you had melodic singing, and we're here now. So how do you take how it started to where it is presently, mix it together, and make it evolve into something else? I've asked this question before. Have we gotten to the point where it everything has been done under the sun? Now what? How do you create now? Because even for the producers, you have access to so many things to create. Look at me, I'm at home. I have a mic, I have a MIDI keyboard, I have an interface, I have a computer, and I have plugins. I can create a number one hit at home. Everybody can do it at home. If you have the work ethic to do it, you can do it. So, as a creative, what are we doing now? What are we going to do for the state of R&B now? We have the freedom to do it however we want to do it. The label is dead. Because if you can align yourself with people that know how to market you, if you can align yourself with people who know how to do your social medias how you want to, if you can align yourself with people or do it yourself to have your merchandise, what is the label for anymore? Do you really need to go sign with him because he has an all R&B label? Yeah, he may know those people, but at this point, if you're able to make excellent music and you're able to reach a lot of people, yes, there is a statement that says that, just because you have 1 million followers doesn't necessarily mean that it's going to transition into sales. Well, then figure out what it is that you need to do in order for you to get those sales then. What do you want? Who is your consumer? Who are you trying to reach? I know who I'm trying to reach. I'm trying to reach the R&B lovers who want to talk about R&B, who wants to have the conversation with R&B, because not everybody has to agree with me. You don't. You don't. Who I like, you may like. Who I like, you may not like. That's okay. It's fine. Do what you got to do. It's understandable. I get it. Because all of it is not for me either. I'm still listening to I'm still listening to all things R&B in the 80s, 90s, in the 2000s and the 10s because I still get the feeling that I want from those artists. But I'm also looking for new artists to listen to. I'm looking for as a fan of R&B, I'm still looking for new people. I want to hear new music. Sometimes I get sick and tired of listening to the old shit. Sometimes I do want a new feeling, but it may not align with me because they might be on a whole nother vibe. That's okay. That's fine. But don't say it's dead. It's not. It's not. Are you out here looking for the new producers? Are you looking for the producers that are doing a different sound? Are you looking for the different engineers that know how to manipulate the voice and not just slap auto tune on everything? Are you looking for them? Are you looking for the people who have the ear that can take an artist and, you know, align them with the right producers? Do you have an A&R? Is the A&R out here looking for the beats for that artist? Because not everybody needs to have the same vibe. Not everybody needs to sound the same. Just because it's hot right now does not mean that that's what you need to do as an artist. You don't. You don't. You can come up with your own shit. What is your message? What are you trying to put out? I think that's what R&B is. It's the feeling, the message, and the vibe. You could be an R&B artist and just be about a vibe. That's fine. You could be an R&B artist that's all about what's going on in society. That's fine. Everything has its place. But are we talking about Grammys? Are we talking about billboards? Are we talking about award ceremonies? I don't care about them. I don't care if you got the #1 album. I don't care if you got the #1 single. I don't care about none of that. All I care about is the music. That's it. Show me the visuals. R&B ain't dead. R&B is not dead. R&B is not dead. We will be back soon enough. Shake and Breeze, Perception Vibes podcast. Y'all let me know in the comments, like, what is it that y'all want to see from us? What y'all want to know? What y'all wanna know, because we've been gone for so long and there's been so many conversations out there. Let me know in the comments what y'all wanna hear from us. Till next time.
Crazy.